The Lord be praised and honored for another session that we are embarking upon. Again, within the chapter or the book of Ezekiel, chapter 41, and we're looking at verses 13 through to 15. Before we go there, though, I trust that your day is well. Trust you've had a good day. The days that we have been experiencing in the past, I believe, are glorious days. And as I've said more often than not, when we do have days like what we have been experiencing over the past probably days or weeks, with all that glorious sunshine that we seem to be getting, I can imagine that first day when God established the Garden of Eden and placed Adam and Eve in the garden to dress and to keep it. That must have been a glorious day, a glorious weather, climate, and I really would have loved to be a fly on the wall. Now the thing about it, I don't know if God made the flies, but He must have, and I don't think that flies were of a bother to Adam and to Eve as such. And these days, flies are a bother. They have fly spray, so probably I wouldn't live that long if there was anything like sprays to kill us off. But anyway, it's great to be around and it's great to enjoy the environment that is around us. Now, we're looking at the dimensions of the temple. The dimensions of the temple. And we're looking at 13, 14, and 15 of the book of Ezekiel, chapter 41. Just reading and imagining the size and the various sizes and shapes and of what we are being told. Ezekiel, you see, the thing about it really, Ezekiel is seeing it, we are not. We have to imagine it. That's what we have to do. Imagine the size of the rooms, the spaces, the walls, the height of it, the width of it, the length of the walls. We have to imagine these things. But Ezekiel the prophet was actually seeing these things, albeit it was in and by vision though. So it was all also very real to him. Again, let me reinforce it. For us, we have to imagine. So imagining, given the dimensions of the temple complex, of the holy place, the especially most holy place also, let me care to say and to include the dimensions of such. This place must have been a massive, absolutely massive, and also sitting under the arches, going through the doorways, looking at the doorposts, looking and viewing, if I can say, even the door lintels. This building was magnificent. Probably it was even more glorious than the temple which Solomon built, and I would more side with that. Anyway, I'm going to read verses 13 through to 15, and then we'll go from there. Again, not much. There's a lot more that is said about the building to the west, isn't it? But this is the dimensions of the temple now. So not a lot is being said about the dimension, just the length, the height of the temple. We're being informed But anyway, listen, less of the talk, less of the chat, and let's do some reading, okay? I'll read from the Jewish text. This says, he measured the length of the house at 175 feet, then a distance that included the width of the separated yard, the interior width of the building, and the thickness of its front and back exterior walls at 175 feet. The distance, verse 14, the distance along the facade of the house on the east through the separated yards to the north and south was 175 feet. 15. He measured the length of the building facing the separated yard behind the house, together with its galleries on both sides, at 175 feet. The sanctuary, the inner place, and the vestibules leading from the house to the courtyard. So it's square. Yeah, it's not oblong, it's not rectangular, but it's square. All the sides, from what we're being told, all the sides are of equal length and equal height. Okay, so we can imagine a square. We can imagine a square. All right. Let me read the very same passage from the King James Version. Sorry, I thought I had it open here. 41, 15, 14, 15, and 16. Or 13, 14, 15. 13, 14, 15. Okay. Let's read together, if we can. Yes. So he measured the house 100 cubits long, and the separated place, and the building with the walls thereof 100 cubits long. Also the breadth of the face of the house and of the separate place towards the east, 100 cubits. Verse 15. And he measured the length of the building over against the separate place which was behind it, and the galleries thereof, on the one side and on the other side, 100 cubits, with the inner temple and the porches of the court. So 100 cubits, when converted into feet, is 175 feet. So the space of the temple, the dimension of the temple, and the space that was there is of all equal length, north to south, east to west. 100 cubits, 175 feet, and all of that within that was the most holy place. Of what we have read. Let me look at something here. Yes. Yes, and that would be the temple, and it's in the holy place and most holy place is all included within those dimensions. So again, to reinforce that the temple complex that Ezekiel the prophet is now in and has been surveying walking with the angelic or angelic messenger is vast, absolutely vast. One of these days we're going to see it, One of these days we're going to see this temple. The Lord is going to inhabit it. What we also have to remember here, and I do believe we will come upon it anyway, because the next session that we will have, we're going to be closing out on chapter 41 of Ezekiel. But if you notice, within all that has been spoken of, all what we have been told, all what Ezekiel is telling us, there's no mention of the veil. I wonder if you understand, or if you have noticed that. There's no notice of a veil that has screened or made any separation within the temple, that is, between the most holy and the holies of holies, or the holies of holies and the holy place. That there is a distinction within the temple. In the wilderness, only the high priest will be able to go beyond the veil. In this instance, as far as the messianic temple is concerned, there's no veil. I wonder if you've noticed that. But anyway, in our next session, we will look at verses 16 through to 26. We will then notice, please read it before we get there. And tell me, if you can, if there is any mention of a veil within the messianic temple. All right? God bless you. We'll see you until then.